Well, I think she left her gun underneath the seat. But if he saw it, why did he just get off the car and say that? Well, why was I reaching the seat? Like he should have got me out the car saying I was doing something, but he didn't do none of that.
9, State of Texas versus Victor Mel Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason, go ahead, Your Honor.
Defense?
Todd Lessert for Victor Garcia.
Are you Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered into a plea on April 18th of no contest. The court found there was sufficient evidence and the court found you guilty. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishments be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison, and the state is remaining silent on your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report?
There's just two clarifications I'd like to make for the court.
Yes.
On page 4, there's a notation that he was at the time of the offense.
Welcome back to another explosive courtroom breakdown. Today, we're diving into the case of State of Texas versus Victor Garcia. On the surface, this looks like a straightforward probation hearing, but trust me, things are about to get messy. A hidden firearm, marijuana possession, gang ties, and a long criminal history all collide in this high-stakes battle where one man's freedom hangs by a thread. You're going to see Garcia plead for probation, while the judge wrestles with his past and the DA pushes back. But here's the twist. The courtroom isn't just deciding his fate today. It's deciding whether his years of mistakes define his future. Stick around, because the judge's final decision will shock you.
Acknowledging his guilt, so I don't know if we're in agreement with that as well, but I'll let my client speak to that.
All right. Do you have any witnesses?
Just my client. His wife's here today, but I don't feel that she'd be able to add anything to the mix for you, Your Honor.
All right. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Victor Garcia.
All right. Make sure you keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear. And to the attorneys who are behind the court reporter, counsels, if you all can move down to the other end.
Yes.
All right. Defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Garcia has just started a new job with a drilling company and is currently still operating his own tree trimming business that he started last year. His son has just started college. He's been trying to walk the line as best he can after having been in trouble with the law some time ago. He has a very good relationship with both his family and his work and the community. And we're asking the court to please grant his application for probation. I do know that he would like to say a few words.
Classic defense move. Anchor Garcia's identity to family, work, and community. Judges respond to responsibility and stability. But does steady employment erase years of criminal behavior? What do you think, viewers? Should family ties outweigh past convictions when deciding probation?
That person that I was back then. I've been doing my best to stay in line. I've been doing everything the right way, and I just
Yeah, well, you understand you are a convicted felon.
Yes, sir.
And you understand that as a convicted felon, you can't possess a firearm.
Yes, sir.
And in this case, you're not saying you weren't in possession of a firearm. You had that in your truck, did you not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was that something that you do on a daily basis, or would that have been some oversight on your part and your wife's part?
That was just oversight. It was a mistake. It was left behind, and it never happened again. No guns.
I'd pass the witness, Your Honor.
No question. Stay aside.
All right. So here's my problem. You're not supposed to have a weapon, and yet you have a weapon. In the stipulations that was agreed to, he made it seem as though he was unaware there was a weapon in the seat. That's just according to what's in the stipulations, not what he's saying. And then he does admit in the stipulations, the police report, oh, well, I had marijuana and I was trying to hide that. And he shouldn't have been doing that either. And so my concern is that I don't know if you've learned anything. And this is why I say that. You have a criminal trespass case. That's from 1998. You were granted probation, and then the probation was discharged in 2000. Criminal trespass, juvenile. Then you had a graffiti. Then you were given probation for that. Then your probation was extended. Then your probation was extended again. And all of these child in need of supervision that
The judge lays out Garcia's record like a rap sheet tapestry: probation violations, drug charges, theft, and prison time. This isn't just history, it's a pattern. And courts always ask, if past leniency didn't work, why believe probation will work this time?
that deferred adjudication was revoked and you were sentenced to 30 days. Then in November of 2004, you had another theft. You were sentenced to 40 days in jail. Then in 2005, you had a possession of marijuana. You were sentenced to 15 days in jail. Then in 2020, you had a possession of marijuana. It was dismissed in the interest of justice. So those are all your misdemeanors. And it appeared that you didn't learn anything from being on deferred, because then the felony, who have possession of controlled substance less than a gram, you were given 3 years deferred adjudication. It was revoked and they sentenced you to 2 years in the state jail facility. And at that time, it shows that you had motions to revoke where they continued you, tried to address the drug issues. Then in 2011, you had possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance and you were sentenced to 5 years in prison. And those were 3 cases with possession with intent to deliver. And I think they all ran concurrently. Then in 2014, you're released from prison and you have another possession 4 to 200 grams case, and you were sentenced to 6 years prison for that. And so you're habitual. And I know the state waived the habitual allegations, but I just I don't see why he's a good candidate.
Judge, if I may, those.
Then we have the gang membership that's happening here. So if you want to address those and why the court should take a chance on him, I'm all ears and I'm still keeping an open mind, but I'm telling you what my concerns are. And I want to see how those concerns can be alleviated, because it appears that he's just continuing to pick up cases.
Mr. Garcia, are you still a gang member?
No, yeah. No, sir.
So you're no longer affiliated with the gang that you joined in prison, correct?
No, I got out right before I got out the gang before I got out of prison. I actually got out, and there's a way you get in, there's a way you get out, Judge. And before I got out, I became, that's why I gave the lady my certificates and all that when I was in prison. I didn't just do nothing in there. You know, I got my GED, I got vocational stuff. I went to church. I gave my life to God in there, and that's right where I'm at now. That's why I'm still out. I got no.
But see,
traffic
here's my
tickets.
thing.
I don't
You're
track
telling
nothing.
me you gave your life to God while you're in prison. You got out of the gang while you're in prison, and yet we're here for a criminal charge, because obviously then the criminal charge is a felon possessing a weapon, not allowed, and then the use of marijuana.
Well, I'm not perfect, Judge, and it was wrong what they said, because I told them I think the gun is in there, because we went to the ranch and we had the gun. She has her gun, my wife, and she's back there, and it was her gun. She left it underneath her seat where she sits on. And when I went to work that day, I forgot to put my blinkers, so they pulled me over. And the area I work in is a bad area. And anyway, he asked me, any drugs, any weapons? I said, dang, I think she left it in there. It's in there at the gun. And that's where they found it.
Mr. Garcia,
But
are you motivated to have treatment for substance?
Here's the heart of the matter: substance abuse. Garcia admits drugs fueled most of his offenses. He swears he's motivated now, citing kids and future goals. But judges have heard this before. The big question: is it genuine transformation or convenient courtroom repentance?
Be able to fulfill this court's wishes?
yeah, yes, sir. Because back then I didn't have no key. Like I was still dumb and doing dumb things. My kids weren't. I got a son that's just going to college. You know, just signed him up yesterday, SAC. And I got another son. He wants to be an officer. I got my daughter. You know, it's back then. It was different. You know, it was. I was. You know, I'm making fast money, stuff like that. But
So you're saying you have a change of motivation?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%. And I have people that could vouch for that, Your Honor. I do.
All right. Do y'all remember what the police report says?
I didn't even go.
All right. This is what the police report says. They were pulling you over because they had complaints of prostitution and drug activity in that area. And they said you had an expired registration sticker on the front windshield. So they said the vehicle was now heading south. I was able to get behind the vehicle at the 1400 block of Roosevelt Avenue and initiated my overhead emergency lights to have the listed vehicle veer over for a traffic stop. The driver, that's you, of the vehicle, motioned with his left arm out the window, indicating that he was going to pull over left at the next traffic light. However, I observed the driver hunched over forward as if he were either reaching for something or hiding something either under the center console or under the seat. Vehicle finally comes to a stop. And then they say, this officer said he told the officer, use caution because of your suspicious movements in the vehicle. The officer makes contact.
Here's the turning point. The judge openly debates prison time versus probation. 3 years locked up or a chance at supervised rehabilitation. It's a cliffhanger moment. And viewers, put yourself in the judge's shoes. Do you take the risk or play it safe?
Underneath the center part of the bench seat. Officer instructed you to speak with him as he stood by the driver's door. Officer motioned for you to exit the vehicle, and you exit the vehicle without hesitation. And then the officer said they again told you why they were making contact with you, and they asked you if you had any weapons on your person, and the officer quickly conducted a pat down for the safety. And then they asked you if you had anything in the vehicle that they needed to know about. And you said, yeah, I have my wife's gun under the seat. I mean, this is the stipulations.
Yeah,
And that's where the gun was recovered, underneath the seat.
Mm.
Anyone want to address these?
Well, Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, did you tell the truth to the officer about whether or not you were doing something underneath the seat regarding the marijuana?
No, I told him the truth that I was hiding I had a roach. It was in my ashtray and I was trying to close the thing. I wanted that and I closed it in the console so he wouldn't see it. I'm guilty.
And you also admitted that you had your wife's pistol in the truck, didn't you?
Yes, I didn't remember. I wasn't really. I think she left her gun underneath the seat. But if he saw it, why did he just get off the car and say that? Well, why was I reaching the seat? Like he should have got me out the car, saying I was doing something, But he didn't do none of that. There was none of that. I told him that my wife, and she even called him on the phone. She was gonna go pick up the gun in the truck, and they still took me. He called my wife. They thought I was going to jail. And like I said, Your Honor, I work in an area where there's prostitution. It's bad, that area. It's bad. There's crackheads everywhere and all that. I don't work there no more, though.
So, I mean, the fact that that's a very bad area, why do you think that's important for me to know?
Because he put that in there, that there's prostitution in that area. He said he made it sound like I was doing something like completely wrong. I mean, I was, my sticker was off, and I did have marijuana. I'm good for that.
You weren't there trying to pick up a prostitute, were you?
No way. I'm married, sir. I don't know.
State, any questions? I know you're silent, but any corrections?
No.
All right. All right. This is what's going to end up happening. You're going to take a seat in the box. Either decision that I make today, you're not leaving the courtroom today. Either I'm going to give you probation and you're going to end up in treatment, or either I'm sending you to prison. I just want to think about this some more. All right, so they're going to put you in the box.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lessard, you had left the courtroom. I had asked for the PSI officer to call the court because I had some questions about the PSI. And of course, I don't like to do anything ex parte, but you were not present. So what I can tell you is the PSI officer, my question was about his drug affiliation. So it appears that what he was telling me was true because the PSI officer says that in 2017, that's when he gave up his affiliation, and then he was released from prison in 2018. And I understand that sometimes when you go to prison, you have to join a group in order to make sure your prison stay is one where you're able to survive your prison stay. So I'm going to give you a choice. Here are your choices. I will sentence you to 3 years in the prison, or either I will take a chance on you and give you probation. And you can speak to your attorney about that. I will tell you, people say in this court probation is hard. I don't do cookie cutter probations. My probations, the conditions I set are designed for, so hopefully people will be successful. So you can speak to your attorney about that and make up your mind. But either way, you're going somewhere today that's not immediately back home. So if you are on probation out of this court, I'm going to do a referral to felony drug court. It's going to be while you're in custody. And there'll be a referral to SATF if felony drug court does not accept you. You understand? All right. So I'm going to give you a chance to speak to your attorney. State of Texas versus Victor Garcia. Mr. Garcia, what have you chose?
You can grant me probation, Your Honor.
Okay. I should say, what have you chosen? All right. This is what the court is going to do.
And here it is. 6 years in prison suspended with 8 years probation. That means Garcia walks, but under strict conditions. Drug court, employment proof, community service, parenting classes, and zero tolerance for slip-ups. It's probation, but with steel shackles of accountability.
To felony drug court and let them know that I've talked to the PSI officer and she says that he's no longer gang affiliated. So you'll need to let them know that. Otherwise, that's going to be a major red flag for them. If not accepted into felony drug court, then it's going to be SATF. I'm sorry, not SATF, probation. Does ISF still have a drug portion? Yes. All right. If not felony drug court, then it'll be state ISF, because I figure they can address your drug issues and they can also address your mental thinking. There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There should be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There should be regular random UAs, 100 hours of community service restitution. How many children do you have?
3, Your Honor.
What are their ages?
17, he's probably 18, 16, and 10.
All right. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. And I'm going to order the MRT. And I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
May it please the court.
Yes.
I did want to just point out that Mr. Garcia has just started a new job with.
The judge's tone sharpens. Probation in this court isn't a cakewalk. No alcohol, no marijuana, no weapons, period. Violations mean prison. The warning is crystal clear. Garcia's future is fragile, balanced on every choice he makes from this day forward.
His history will give people red flags. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. When you came to court, you presented yourself great, which I appreciate you dressing appropriately for court. But I want you to remember this day, because probably when you came to this court, you're looking at your criminal history, you think you're going to prison. I'm sure you're probably thinking, there's probably a 90% chance I may go to prison, but miracles do happen. This feeling that you felt when you came in and you thought you were going to prison, you need to hold on tight to that, because people ask to be on probation and people will tell me sometimes, I promise you, I will test every single day, or I won't step out of line. And then when the cold, hard facts hit them of what probation is in this court, they backslide. They don't report. They don't get a job. They smoke a lot of marijuana, which you're not allowed to smoke marijuana on probation. You're not allowed to drink alcohol on probation. And I know people say, why are the judges being so hard? I'm in my house. Why can't I drink alcohol in my house? It's because the law says when you're on probation, no alcohol in the house, no marijuana in the house. And I'm telling you right now, your wife,
So, what did we learn from State of Texas versus Victor Garcia? A man with a heavy past, a plea for probation, and a judge torn between risk and rehabilitation. Ultimately, probation wins, but with strict oversight. The bigger question: can Garcia break his cycle, or will history repeat? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
All right. If you're accepted in felony drug court and you graduate, I will most definitely show up at your graduation.